Morning, Connor.
Morning.
So, third time lucky with this recording of this end of unit review. I can confirm that we are recording, and so can you just confirm your full name, Connor, and your date of birth, please?
Connor James Lewis, 29th November 1998.
Thank you, Connor. I'll put the camera down. I won't put it in your face all the way through. But this unit, Connor, was D24, enable disabled people to take part in activities. So, working where we do, Portland College, it's something that that we do on pretty much an everyday basis. That's what we do. So, I hope you've enjoyed the unit. But like I say, maybe going over a lot of stuff that you already knew anyway from your sports leaders work. But anyway, I'm going to put the phone down now and start asking you a few questions. All right?
Yep, that's fine.
Nice one, Connor. Okay, so Connor, first and foremost, about identifying needs of disabled participants for the activity. So, what about some common types of impairments that we're likely to encounter at Portland College, where we work?
So at Portland College, there's a kind of a mix of physical and mental disabilities. So you're going to come into a big range of disabilities. There's some of the more common ones are things like cerebral palsy.
Which would be a physical disability.
Yeah. Physical disability, and then there's quite a large range of impairments that can come from that. I don't think two people with cerebral palsy are quite the same. Mm-hmm. They both need individual things, and then you've got muscular, degenerative things, and people who are in chairs.
Oh, sorry, Carl.
People who are in chairs, and you've got more mental disabilities, which is things like autism, learning difficulties, Asperger's.
So you've got Asperger's, you've got autism, got all them, ADHD, them sort of things. But think about your one-to-one support. Zach, who supports you,
head injuries.
Yes, acquired head injuries.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a couple of guys in the group with those so like you say, we've got people with cerebral palsy, people with autism, people with acquired brain injuries, muscular dystrophy, as you mentioned, or similar disability to yourself, which is FND.
FND.
And is that a muscular disability?
It's a problem with my nerves that affects my muscles.
Excellent. So, like you say, a full range. So again, they're not being, what's the word? We're not just having, right, okay, everyone with cerebral palsy come to a sports session, are we?
It's very, we have a mixture
of learners in every session.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So, okay, so if I get you to deliver one of those sessions, where would you get the information from on the participants?
Well, you'd have to go to higher up, line manager sort of position, because as a student here at Portland, I can't get on our data system, data bridge.
That describes all about the disability and also gives you access to assessment reports and things like that.
Yeah.
But I do, so if you brought that to me, if you were ever unsure, we could have a look together at it. Okay, what about, how would you identify, a game that you do a lot of delivering is bocce.
Yeah.
Okay, and what can you tell me about any modifications or adaptations that help us meet the needs of disabled participants so we can offer the fully inclusive sport?
There's a few adaptations that you can make into bocce. One of the big ones is people who can't do the motion to throw a ball there can be ramps that they push the ball down, just to help them get the ball across. And if they can't pick up the ball, someone passing it to them, and
things like that. Yeah. So okay, so we might do a lot of these. Some of these adaptations maybe not be allowed at an elite level or national, regional level, but we think grassroots level where we do our coaching, where we deliver our sessions. So if you think about, if we had a group down, for example, bocce ball's quite small, struggling to see a jack ball, how could you adapt that?
You could get a larger ball just to help them see.
Brilliant.
Other simple adaptations you can make, signing colours just instead of the paddle.
Yeah,
in case they can't see, just simple things like that can help everybody.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you. What about just one more in that section about staffing levels? I mean, does that worry you? I'm saying to you, Connor, go out there and deliver to these 10 participants. Actually, when I'm teaching them participants, I've probably got 5 or 6 staff. I'm not normally giving you 5 or 6 staff. So, how do you work out and ensure there are adequate staffing levels?
We look at the participant's ability and decide how many staff is going to be needed for how many students. So. And how they behave in a session is obviously important, but I feel it's quite important to always have extra staff just around.
Yeah, you've mentioned that to me before, just in case. Yeah,
just in case something happens.
Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Well done. Okay, so you spoke about adapting. Tell me an adaptation we might make here for basketball. Now, let's be honest, we could have 10 lads running around playing basketball, but all of a sudden we might have Shannon, the girl in our group, come in and want to join in that game. But we need to make that safe, because we might have 10 lads running playing full place basketball, but then we've got Shannon comes in a wheelchair and we're not making her stand at side or sit at side. So what we're going to do with that? How are we going to get her involved?
Well, there's a few things that you could do. I feel that adapting the rules is a great way to just get someone involved. Let them know that there's a chair there.
Yeah.
Change it to maybe walking basketball instead of running around. Make it so everyone has to touch the ball before they can shoot. Floor nets for people who can't shoot top net. There's softball for people who struggle to catch because you don't want to get hit in the face with a basketball.
Especially not with a basketball. We've had some terrible incidents with that. But brilliant, yeah. So what about this one? Describe the importance of briefing any sort of support staff on the activity and its goals. Why is that important?
Because I feel like you've got to be all working to the same objective.
Yeah.
They should all know what you're trying to get from the participants, so that the session goes as smoothly as possible.
I agree, and maybe I've had that in the past, Connor. I can share with you that sometimes I can stand there and give a full introduction and give session aims, targets, and then we can look at sort of the activities. And I may then ask if any learners have got like sort of one-to-one support, which some have, some do get. I then ask that one-to-one support to relay that information to that learner as well. Yeah. Okay, for example, with Dean and Fergus, for example. Okay, I might talk, Fergus is a Route 2 learner and a Route 3 group, but then I'd ask Fergus's one-to-one support to relay that information, because that enabler knows, that learning support assistant knows them best, they know the best way to communicate with them, and it really does help. So yeah, always use your learning support assistants. Okay. What else have we got on here, Connor? Moving on to working with the disabled participants. So, what about checking understanding? How do we check understanding as some of our participants?
Well, you can go back to, words. You can, can ask them, which is a big thing. Ask them if they've understood what you've just said, or go ask them questions about what you've just done. That really checks understanding, because anybody can nod their head and say, "Yeah, I understand."
Or anyone can relay what you've just said. If you just, you know what I mean. That's, people can repeat what you've said, but have they understood it?
Yeah. So I feel like asking questions or demonstrations are the best way to really just get that. Make sure that they get it.
Okay, I'm going to just ask you about communicating then. Communicating effectively. You mentioned a bit in one of your last answers, but think about, again, to meet the needs of all our group, communicating to them out. You got any ideas around that, or good
signs,
ways?
Symbols, pointing, stuff like that.
Yeah.
All helps maybe lower level learners understand projection. Just making sure that you're speaking clearly, loudly, maybe a bit slower for some learners, just so that they can process all the information.
Lovely. Anything we should avoid using when we're talking to our participants?
Slang
language, and maybe even sort of matey and ducky, and you think about autistic learners and how autistic learners may take things, and you know, if we speak locally like we do in Nottinghamshire, and we start saying thanks duck, like, you know,
you need to make sure that you know everything is quite formal.
Yeah, I agree with that, just to make sure it gets understood effectively, and then you go back to that checking into it. Brilliant. Just one more. What about, why is it important you get help if any problems in your session beyond your own level of competence? So I don't know, you know, there's all different sorts of reasons why things may get wrong, but why is it important you get help of somebody?
It's important to, you know, get support, because you don't want to deal with the situation wrongly and cause a bigger issue.
I think especially at this stage in your sort of coaching career, your leading career, I think it's important that you fetch a more experienced member of staff, and you're fully aware of those.
It helps you learn as a coach as well. I feel that watching how they can deal with a situation instead of just guessing and trying to deal with it yourself.
Okay, and before we finish, why is it important we review with the participants in your sessions? Review the session with them.
I always feel that it's better to review with another person, because they can give you different ideas, you know, different perspectives. You might have thought something went really badly, but they might have thought it was all right, and you know, you can mix ideas, and I feel like that really helps.
Okay, brilliant. Connor, thank you very much. I've enjoyed that. You gave me some really good answers there. Clearly understand how to enable disabled participants taking sport. We see that in your practice as well. We've seen your delivery to Bracken Hill on a Friday lunchtime. We've seen the sessions you deliver. So yeah, very pleased with that. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Connor, thank you very much. Bye-bye.